Goodness gracious, it's so bright in here. This isn't one decent place in the house today for me to take a cell phone video. But anyway, I was thinking about what to talk about today, and what I came up with is Spotify support for independent artists, which I think is a great thing, and I support Spotify that supports independent artists. But there's a few things I see as a problem that are emerging, at least my opinion, from the standpoint of a blogger and as a music fan. And I want to talk about a couple of those things. First of all, um, it's always, artists have always blamed Spotify for not paying enough in comparison to the other streaming services. And I also thought that it was funny, interesting that a big corporation like Apple has always claimed that Spotify devalues music, when in fact, if it wasn't for Spotify, a whole lot of people would be, torrenting or, downloading their music on some kind of other, peer-to-peer service. I think if any um, big entity that devalues music would be YouTube, because YouTube doesn't pay any royalties. What they pay is what they do is monetize. And the problem with monetize is that if you are a new artist who is just coming out, you can actually make a lot less, significantly less, or maybe none at all on YouTube, opposed to something like Spotify, who pays you royalty. Um, and that means that you make money off of that play, whether someone buys something or not. So, I don't. I think that a lot of these young artists, they want to get their music out, but they really don't understand how a lot of these streaming services, work, or they still treat music streaming as though you're selling albums, and somehow something isn't getting translated to these artists. But anyway, so they complain that Spotify pays so little, and yet conveniently everybody forgets about Tidal. Tidal charges twice as much, for their exclusive content and for their, special high definition videos and yada yada yada. And you know what? Um, Jay Z still wasn't paying the artist, and yet that's kind of kept under wraps. Everybody's still talking about Spotify. You know, I like to make, because I don't want this video to be long. I promise myself that I won't make long videos anymore. But I want to say this, okay? Um, late because of music streaming, we don't have much music labels anymore. All of those old labels, they've been pretty much defunct. And while many of these labels did cheat a lot of the artists, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna make pretend that never happened. But at the same time, um, promoting, grooming, preparing an artist for stardom costs a lot of money, from the tours, the clothings, the publicity person, photographer, album production, marketing, distributing. All of those things cost money. So in reality, even though they may not paid you as much as you thought that you deserve, but at the other on the other end of it, the money that you would have gotten paid would have all been spent on your development anyway. So now, what's happening now is that a lot of these guys are independent. A lot of these guys, don't know the first thing about how to promote themselves. The business, the professional aspect of it. It's not just getting on a mic and writing music or writing raps. Trying to be that goat. You know, um, it's you have to do all those things now because there's no more label. And if you never had a label before and you just decided, 2 3 months ago that you wanted to try and be this big star, you have absolutely no clue as to where to start, where to go. So while these labels took all that money from a lot of the artists, they had the experience and expertise to do what they have to do once they feel that you have the potential to make them good money. So it's a two-way street. And so now my other point is that now that when I go to Spotify and I try to find a good Spotify forum and to find some great um, um, playlists and stuff, um, Facebook is just inundated with just a lot of almost feels like only rap and the you follow me I'll follow you movement. And let me tell you something, that is a waste of time. A real artist who really cares about their music should not join a group to where they follow you and you in turn follow them. Bad idea for two reasons. One, it messes up your algorithms. When you want to listen to music, you don't want to have a bunch of random shit on your playlist, and then complain later that Spotify isn't suggesting good music to you when you have all this crappy music that from people you follow that you don't follow, you don't really want to follow. You have to understand how music streaming works and how it affects you know your account, your music account. You know what I'm saying? So for that, you might as well just go to one of these services where you could just buy followers and do that. You know, I mean, why would you have people follow you when they're really not listening to you? If they're following you and they got 2,000 other people that they're following as well, there's not enough time in a day. It's not humanly possible to listen to every single music that of every artist that they follow. And the same thing is for these playlists. These guys who are literally on crack or high on something, who creates a playlist, put 7,000 songs on there and say this is the bestest, greatest playlist in the entire world, follow it. It's just, when I see a playlist, I immediately look to see how many are in there. You know, if it's more than 50, I just bypass it. It would have to be a really eye catching, the name of that playlist really has to be eye catching for me to even want to scroll down past 50 songs. That's just it. So again, I'm feeling that my yeah, it's already going 9 minutes, so I'm gonna stop right here. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.